So chances are you already know that a big update came out. I believe it was early on Tuesday. With the update came a bunch of new cars and a bunch of other things for Need for Speed Payback. Well, me, as you can probably tell by my upload schedule, I really haven't had time to play Need for Speed. But to be honest, if the update was really, engaging and different and interesting, I probably would make time to play this game. One game I have been playing a shit ton of is Rainbow Six Siege. And that's a game which I really enjoy playing. I also been playing a lot of Burnout, which I've been mentioning in previous videos, because obviously I have a lack of time. With university deadlines and stuff, it's very hard for me to actually get into Need for Speed now, and the only real time I ever come to this is to make videos. And I think this is probably going to be the last video about the Castrol update, and I kind of want to talk about the cars. Now, if I pause the game and go to the menu, you can see that they've added a Pontiac Firebird and an Aston Martin for $399, that's British sterling, and then they've got the cars separately, weirdly enough, for the same price, which just doesn't really make much sense. And I got into an interesting conversation about this with the community manager for Need for Speed, Ben Walk, on Twitter. Some of you guys may have seen that thread, and I'll link it down in the description below. But I want to talk about why those two cars are, at least in my opinion, are a bit weird. Now, you also may have noticed that I actually haven't bought those cars. I'm not sure whether it even says purchased if you have purchased those cars. Regardless, I haven't purchased those cars because, to be honest, if I did, I probably would have made a video on it. But to me personally, this update really hasn't added anything of any kind of value to me, really. I'm in Eddie's Skyline now, which is like, it's one of the first cars that's making the jump from $299 to $399. But unfortunately, if I go to the garage, which I will do in a minute, you actually can't change anything on it. It's literally stuck like this forever, and that's it. I don't think you can even change the wrap on the car, which is pretty disappointing. Let me check actually if you can even change the wrap. I'm pretty sure you can't. Yes, you can't do anything other than add vanity items, which I've done. I've added the orange underglow to match the orange underglow on the one that was in the actual game. But to be honest, this seems to me more like kind of us beta testing 399 cars than like an actual kind of feature. To me, it feels like they've said, you know, we haven't got the resources, or we haven't got the manpower to test it in-house. So what we're going to do is we're going to test it with you guys, and you guys have the opportunity to get this car to 399. Now, like, I've got a bit of a problem with that. I'm not a beta tester. I bought this game full price. It's a bit annoying that they've done that when I'm seeing, you know, other people, you know, on PC with mods and stuff do 399 cars, and nothing really seems broken. Now, I'm very sure that obviously when you're actually doing this for proper, that there's going to be hiccups and things which come up in the way, which you wouldn't do with the mods. And I'm sure a modded 399 car does have its problems deeper down the line, and I'm sure it's not that easy. But to me, I have no reason to use this car. The only reason I'm actually using this car is because it's kind of like, it was the first car I was in, and it fits the update theme of kind of this video. But like, now I've actually mentioned that, I'm actually just gonna switch to something else. Anyway, I went on a bit of a tangent there. I kind of was supposed to talk about why I didn't buy the DB5 and why I didn't buy the Trans Am. And to be honest, it's just because they're really not cars of interest. Personally, I like to think that I kind of have a good view on the community as a whole, not just my viewer base. I don't really look at it like that. You know, whenever I'm giving feedback, whether that's for, like, for Tokyo Nights and that whole thing, or whether it's, you know, the DLC packs, I like to think that I've got a pretty broad and open, like, opinion on what's going on. I don't like to think that I'm narrow-minded. I like to think I'm quite open to a lot of things, and that's something which I kind of pride myself on, the fact that I am very transparent with what I think, and I don't really sugarcoat anything. To me, if you got a focus group together from players that were both casual with Need for Speed, which I have talked to many of, there's a lot of people I know at university, funnily enough, that play Need for Speed very casually. You know, I think if you got a focus group from people that, you know, play the game casually, for people that play the game hardcore, and for some people that are in the middle, and you ask them, oh, would you rather have a DB5 or a Miura? I think most of them would say Miura. If you got a focus group together and ask them, would you rather have the Trans Am or an E36 M3? I think most of them would probably say the E36 M3. If you got a focus group together, I think they would realize that the $399 price tag is very, very steep. And in an age where Gran Turismo is giving 12 cars away per month for free, I just don't really see the excuse. Now again, a lot of this is going to be me repeating what I said with the conversation with Ben, and again I'll link that down in the description. But the reason why I'm doing this is because obviously I have a much bigger voice on YouTube than I do on Twitter, even though I do tweet an awful lot. And obviously there's going to be those niche people who, you know, really enjoy the fact that Trans Am has made the game. There's going to be a few DB5 enthusiasts in this video, and that's something that I completely realise. But Need for Speed isn't like Forza, where they can't put that much thought into the car list DLC, especially when such big problems are present in the actual game itself. Need for Speed's car list isn't huge to begin with, and again, if you look at Gran Turismo as an example, all the cars they've added are highly requested cars which people want to see. And granted, that car list wasn't gigantic to begin with, but nor is really Need for Speed. And I can use that as a great example. A lot of the cars that are in or have been added to Gran Turismo are cars which a lot of people have wanted to see. And in most cases, if you didn't like one car, there's going to be another car which you did like. And although the DB5 and the Trans Am do cover two completely separate kind of like genres of car, I don't really see that many people pleased. And I'm not the type of person to hate on Need for Speed for no reason. I've defended Need for Speed on many occasions when other people haven't, and this is just me being brutally honest. There's a bunch of cars that I could list off the top of my head. You know, the ones I've already mentioned, the Miura, the Mark 1 Ford GT would be a great one. A Carrera GT, I think that would be an amazing choice. I think every brand I've mentioned, so that being BMW, Porsche, and Ford, all have really good connections with Need for Speed. So I just don't understand why that wouldn't have been a thing. Even like old Focuses and stuff like that, like a Corsair and stuff. That kind of stuff is, I think, would be really interesting to most people. And I don't honestly think, even with the price tag, if they offered me a Mark 1, got a Ford GT, or if they offered me a Carrera GT or a Miura or an E36, I would pay the $399, and I don't think I'd mind too much. I think all of this really does genuinely come back to what I said in, you know, the videos leading up to Tokyo Nights before, you know, that kind of period happened, where I was kind of giving feedback and like, well, at least what I think of the game. And I think it comes down to a loss of focus and maybe too many people shouting at Ghost. There's a lot of people shouting at Ghost, me included. I'm very guilty of this. But I think a lot of the problem could be because there's so many voices that are wanting to be heard, so many like different generations and so many different types of Need for Speed fans. You've got the shift fans, you've got the, you know, the hop shoot fans, and then you've got the underground people, and there's so many different types of Need for Speed fan. I think they're trying to appease to too many people, and this is something which I have said publicly many a time. It's very clear to me that they need to focus on one thing and be good at one thing instead of trying to please all these different people. The worst part about all of this, at least from what I've heard, I haven't actually tried the cars myself, so I can't really add any credibility to this, but I've heard they don't even handle that awfully well. So why would you spend $399 on cars that don't actually even handle awfully well? Again, I haven't actually used it myself, I can't speak to that, but the cars definitely aren't OP to be said. That's a good thing, to be honest. I wouldn't want a paid card to be DLC and be OP like the Hennessy Venom was in Most Wanted 2012, but you know, it still doesn't, you know, take away from the fact that the cars, at least for the majority of the community, aren't really that popular. If EA gave me a code, and if EA, you know, gave me a code, and if they said, oh, here you go, like, you can make videos on it, and if they did that at the time, I probably would have, to be honest. I probably would have made a video, and that's me being completely open. But I definitely wouldn't have said, like, these are cars of interest, and I wouldn't have pretended like it. Like, they're still cars that I don't really know why they got added, and those are things which I said in the Under the Hood article when it was first announced. I'm pretty sure I know what your guys' responses are going to be, because obviously this is kind of like, I imagine a lot of people in this video are probably going to say, I agree with you. There's going to be one or two people who really like the Trans Am, who like the DB5, and that's okay as well. I think the Trans Am is a cool car. I just think with the current problems, especially with the game, you know, with the ranked MMR being broken, like the fact that you get D-ranked for winning speed lists in some occasions, the mere fact there's like still no end game other than speed lists for this, the fact that all drive is still missing so much, and I can go and play Burnout and do free drive challenges instead. This is no reason for me to play this game anymore. And the only time I would ever make videos on this is honestly either when it's like fly on the wall spark, you know, just want to make a video on Payback and I just feel like I'm in the mood. 2, when there's something I want to rant about, or 3, when there's new stuff added because there's actually a reason for me to go back. The only reason there was for me to go back was to play those 3 cash roll events, and for me 3 is not enough. I was expecting like an underground racing league type thing, where there was going to be 10 or 15 races and you're going to get a big reward at the end, but it seems to me like it was more of an ad for that thing they did with Theo than anything else, which is really disappointing. Payback has just been disappointing. That's the only way I can really explain it. I like the fact they've tried so many new different things, but to me, I want a polished, well thought out experience. I loved 2015 regardless of the bugs, you know, whether I was a bit of nostalgia coming through with the underground-esque setting, maybe that was the case, but I could get over that. I had a lot more fun on that game, even though it had a bunch more flaws and technically wasn't the better game. The DLC rollout for me has been subpar, especially, again, I can bring this back to 2015. 2015 had a much better rollout. It was monthly, you know, we've had so many big breaks between the Payback DLC, or at least it's felt like it, and I just feel like the DLC rollout has been subpar. You know, online free roam is something which, although it is very cool, I just, the fact they had the audacity to kind of like tease it was annoying, and then the fact that, you know, it had nothing when it actually came out anyway. I thought when they mentioned online free roam and the way they did, it was gonna be a complete package, and it was gonna have everything. It was gonna have like free burn challenges, and it was gonna have, you know, the events in the map, and it was gonna give you private lobbies. I thought it was gonna be the real deal. I didn't think they were gonna roll it out over its life cycle, and I just feel like when we look back at Payback, it's just going to be a series of online free roam events, and that pisses me off. I hope Ghost can prove me wrong and, you know, bring me back to this game, but to be honest, other than new content and other than just fly off the wall kind of videos, I honestly can't see me playing too much of Payback. And with the crew so close to coming out, you know, with Forza Horizon 4 coming out, and you know, obviously that's going to lead me to play more Horizon generally. I just don't know whether I even want to like make videos on this anymore. The next video you're probably going to see on this is probably going to be on like an under the hood video, or maybe like a video just on a build or something. I don't know. I feel like I can't be the only YouTuber disappointed, because when I look around, I don't see that many people complaining about this game, and it just leads me to think it can't be just me. I know it's not just me, because I see it all the time, and it's people from different backgrounds as well. There's such a broad amount of people. I'm not saying the game is dead, you know. I know I've seen a lot of people saying they've been misled as well, which I don't think is true. But I just feel like it's kind of, it is a bit dead in terms of like the hardcore fan, at least. If somehow, for some reason, which I don't even like Fortnite that much, but if I'm playing more Fortnite than Need for Speed Payback, there is a problem. If I'm playing more Rainbow Six Siege than Need for Speed, there's a problem. If I'm playing more Burnout than Need for Speed, a game that came out 10 years ago, there is a problem. If you think about it logically, the hardcore fan, being me, should be the one that plays the game the longest. If I'm not playing the game the longest, you know, and all you've got to do is look at Need for Speed 2015 to realise that, like, I am that type of person to play Need for Speed regardless of the flaws, then there is a serious problem. And this is just something that they need to solve, because right now the game has no endgame, and it's very, very annoying. So that was my little bit of a rant over about the DLC and about all that kind of stuff. Again, Ghost, please prove me wrong. I hope that you're working on a DLC or some type of patch which is just going to completely change my mind and bring me back to this game. And I hope that, you know, like a month or two down the line, I'll be posting Payback every single day and it's back to that kind of place again. But for now, I'm done. I can't make it undefeated on this. I can't lose stick and twist on this. I think until the next patch comes out, I think I'm pretty much done with Payback. Anyway, let me know what your opinions are down in the comment section down below. That's been it from me today. If you did enjoy, make sure to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe, comment down below and let me know what you think. But that's been it from me. I will see you guys in the next one. You guys have been awesome. Stay safe and peace.